Hi guys, today is the 14th of December 2019 at 12 minutes past 5 in the morning over here in the UK, and I want to quickly talk about December the 15th and potentially January the 2nd at 3 p.m, which is 1500 hours. Now, I've looked at the earthquake scenario in various different ways, taking it from the chart over here with the tilted letter of Z and O, Z also being taken as an N. Locations taken from those two letters are New Zealand and Australia. I've looked at counting the letters this way to get specific dates. For example, 11, 15, 11, because A, B, C, and D are missing, which makes O on this chart the 11th letter on this alphabet. But also 15, because O is the 15th letter of the alphabet. I've looked at 22 as well, and 26. Looked at them in various different ways. The way I'm looking at it now is to count it this way, which is 12, and then start again to bring us to 15, O being the 15th letter of the alphabet anyway. So look out on December 15th for a potential earthquake. I believe that would be around 9.0 or above, and that would be around Australia and New Zealand. The other way of looking at that same interpretation, 12:15, is 1 to January 2nd, and then 15 for 3 p.m, which is 1500 hours. I believe if that is the case, it may connect up with the apple scene which we have here. I've spoken before about how L represents lunar and how L represents the letter 12 in the alphabet, and the other way it represents the number 7, and the 7th day in the 12th lunar month is January the 1st. We then have 01 on this side with 0 seed and 1 seed, and then 2 on this side with 2 seeds there. So that would be January the 2nd. So that kind of rolls on from each other. Just give me a second. Yeah, so just going back to the classroom itself, if we consider that the exit, the children being in the classroom, possibly gives us a reference to the time that children leave school, which I referenced before is 3 p.m, which is 1500 hours, then that kind of brings me back to January the 2nd, 15. As I say, we have a 01 here and a 2 here for January the 2nd, and we're still within the classroom. At that point, we're with the apple, which has the volcano on it erupting, which then splits off and connects up with this tsunami. Looked at various different volcanoes. In this particular interpretation, I'm looking at the Hawaii Kilauea scenario we've talked about various different times before, and how that connects with Obama as well, because he's from Hawaii, and we believe that volcano, Kilauea, could erupt, maybe Mauna Loa, maybe both, and then cause the Helena slump to collapse and fall into the ocean, generating a tsunami in the Pacific, which would affect the west coast of the United States. I believe that is connected to the end of the video, where we see the tsunami in the background here, and we've got 012 again for January the 2nd, and we have the dragon inside of the tsunami wave just here. That not only connects us to Revelation with the dragon spewing forth the waters, but it also connects us to fire. Dragons are beings of fire, and volcanoes are, also associated with fire. So it could just be telling us that this tsunami is not only a biblical reference, but it's generated by a volcano, and that could be the Kilauea Hawaii scenario. Looking at it geologically, or geographically rather, we have maybe a way of connecting it all up. If the, don't know why it's making noise in the background. If the alphabet chart gives us Z and possibly N for New Zealand, just tilting them the other way, and O and Z for Australia, Oz, and the letters are tilted, and that gives us an indication to an earthquake in this region, a 9.0 or above, could affect many different volcanoes in the area, since these two countries surround the Pacific Ring of Fire, which is the ring of volcanoes that surround the Pacific Ocean. But within the Pacific Ocean, we've also got Hawaii and the Big Island, and on the Big Island is the Kilauea volcano. last year when it erupted in May, there were a lot of fissures that came down to the ocean, and we also know that there's a pool of water forming or has formed in the middle of the Kilauea crater, which could result in hydrothermic eruptions in the future. Putting all of that together, it could destabilize the already unstable Helena slump and cause a tsunami to generate in the Pacific Ocean, affecting all the countries that surround the Pacific Ocean, but also affecting the west coast. Which way am I going? I need to zoom out a bit more. Yeah, also tilt it back this way. Also affecting the west coast of the United States over here. In terms of IPEC Go 2, that would be alphabet chart, Australia, New Zealand, Apple with the volcano on it for Hawaii, with Obama right next to it, who's also from Hawaii. When that splits, it connects up to the tsunami wave, which would have to be in a region that surrounds it, which would be the Pacific Ocean. And then we have the generation of the tsunami at the end of the IPEC Go 2 video, showing us that potential impact on the west coast of the United States. And as I say, from each of those interpretations, the 12:15 from the alphabet chart could be January 2nd, 3 p.m. The 0-1 seed on one side and 2 seeds on the other side, giving us January the 2nd again, could be same time, 3 p.m. That's the time the children leave the classroom. And the last scene doesn't give me a 3 p.m. reference, but I'm assuming that would be around the same time, or a couple of hours after, depending on how long it took for a tsunami to travel from here to here. Obviously I hope these things don't happen. As I say, I just look at these things and interpret them. January the 2nd is my last date watch. Obviously if things are happening, then there may be other events happening after January the 2nd, but for now this is what I've got, and if nothing's happening then that's it. Apart from that, you guys already know there's many watch dates on Donald Trump, but if we've got the LT3 reference up here as well for December 23rd, L12, T20 and 3, then we've possibly got the December 25th reference, as pointed out many times from his eyebrow. I'm trying to get on it right here. See it here. So, man lying on his back, Donald Trump there, L12, 2 that way, 5 that way, 25, Christmas Day. You've also got 2 marks up here, and not in this particular frame, but if you look at it yourself, you'll be able to see a 5 in the hair as well, and that's obviously 2, 5, 25, and then you've got the D on the dunce cap, which could be December 25th, Christmas Day, something like this. Look out for it. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.